Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Richard, and the reason why I'm introducing myself that way is because I'm not using the title of Game Master or Dungeon Master for this video series. I am just a huge fan of both Robert E. Howard and Conan the Barbarian, his primary, most well-known character. And this is my preview for the video series for this year's Cimmerian September 2025. So I initially learned about Cimmerian September last year for the first time, which is kind of mind-boggling to me that somehow I had missed this for the first 8 years that I've been doing YouTube. But I am all the better for having learned late rather than not at all, and I'm really excited about digging into Cimmerian September this year, 2025. So one thing that I decided that I was going to do a little bit differently this year is last year I had focused on a wide range of different medium that Conan the Barbarian was represented in. I spoke about the tabletop role-playing games, which I have several of, with Conan principally shown there as either an NPC or at least set in the world setting of the Hyborian age of Conan. And but in almost every one of those editions of tabletop role-playing games, there was an NPC build for Conan the Barbarian or Conan of Cimmeria. So having done that already, I wanted to instead this year focus more on some of the earliest representations of Conan the Barbarian in the form of the comic books. And so I have all of the Marvel Conan the Barbarian comic books, but this year I wanted to focus a little bit more on the magazines, and that means Savage Tale, Savage Sword, as well as taking a look at Roy Thomas's Barbarian Life and just going through various passages in here which kind of explain the process of bringing Conan the Barbarian to life in comic books and in magazines or in the trade paperbacks later on, as well as in graphic novels, which I have, quite a few graphic novels as well. Now, in many of these cases, I will be showing off just the book if I don't have a corresponding PDF that I can pull from to show to you as well. So I will be doing these as like page throughs, but I'm not going to read any of the short stories or comic book stories in full. All right, I think that would take too much time, and I do not have the reading and presentation skills of reading like a professional reader. So, but I will be focusing on, as I do those page throughs, I will be focusing on the things that jump out to me that are of high interest, whether it's embedded in the story that the magazine or the comic book is focused on, or sometimes some of those other advertisements and other stories that are also found in the magazines in particular. I will also point out some of those as well. I know when I was getting ready to do this, and I decided that the first magazine I'll be using, and this will be on the 1st of September, I'll be going through the Savage Tales #1. As you can see, I have an incredibly pristine copy of this thing. I have kept this thing for the better part of 40 years in in a slipcase and with backing and in special acid-free boxes and everything. So I've been keeping really good care of these things, which is why I want to use the PDF when I'm flipping through them, unless I have no other recourse than to show you, the original and go through the original with you. But as I'm doing those flip throughs, and when I was prepping on this one, I started flipping through this first one, and some of the other stories that are in here and some of the advertisements and everything. I mean, it is just incredible to see how different times were in 1970 or 1971 as compared to today. And that was one of the things, like one of the titles, and I will show this to you. It won't be as as spontaneous as when I first came across it. I apologize for that, but when I came across the title, I was like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing. I will just spoil that, since this is a preview of the series. And so I'm reading through here, and the second story is by Stan Lee and John Romita, and it is The Fury of the Femizons. And when I read Femizons, I just broke out laughing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such an incredible journey through these older comic books and magazines that I think that you're in for a real treat. And so that's why for this series in particular, I ask you to subscribe and to hit the alert button so that you see when they drop, and as well as all the other content that I'm covering throughout the rest of the month as well. So September is going to be marked with at least 2 videos every week centered on Conan of Cimmeria for Cimmerian September. There might be, in some cases, more than 2, but for the most part, it will be 2 throughout each of the months, so you'll see at least 8 videos in this series. I believe the last time I did this, there were 14. I'm going to link it to, to this video so that you can see that former playlist there, and you'll see the 2024 playlist. And I encourage you to take a look at those in preparation for this upcoming one, so that way you can actually tell me, hey, based on what you did this last year, I recommend that you do this a little bit differently, and that would be awesome input for you. That way I can respond and kind of give you what you're looking for. It'll also help me to know if there's something that is not in my collection, like I didn't cover it last year and it doesn't appear like I'm going to cover it this year. Please ask me to, hey, take a look at this here, to check through your selection. I have something like 300 Conan the Barbarians, plus the Savage Swords of Conan. I have well over 150 of those. So I have a whole lot of comics that, plus the graphic novels, and there's about half a dozen or more graphic novels that are focused on Conan the Cimmerian, and so you can ask to see those as well. And if I have it, I will certainly go through those. I'm not going to, again, do full read-throughs. I'm going to do a page through for these things. That way they're not excessively long, and they will still give you a really good sense of what is in that particular issue or book or whatnot. That includes when I go through Roy Thomas's Barbarian Life. I'm not going to be reading whole chapters to you, but I will be focusing on just what stands out. Now, if I have crossover between this and the comic book, then I'm going to talk about them side by side. That way you're getting both the kind of the behind the scenes, how did Roy Thomas go about getting that particular story published, what challenges that he faced doing so, or how easy it was. So like, I know in this first episode here, it's the Frost Giant's daughter. And here, the Frost Giant's daughter in Conan the Barbarian comic book was issue number 16. But here, that story comes in issue number 1. And there might be some differences in the two stories, whether it appeared in the comic book or in Savage Tales, for example. So, because each of these are interpretations of the original story, and so that's going to be something I'll focus on as well. So, when the time comes when I'm going through this story, and I'm talking about the Frost Giant's daughter as it appears in Savage Tales, I will also be looking at it here as well. That way, I can go back and forth a little bit and talk about some of the issues that Roy Thomas might have had in getting that published. So I really look forward to you participating in this video series. Subscribe, hit the alert button, comment, request or make suggestions, as well as give me some input as to what you enjoyed about the particular coverage, or how I might do something a little bit differently. So, as always, I thank you for joining in on this, and I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon, or at a convention. It's also a holiday weekend, so I hope that you all have a great holiday weekend, an extended weekend for many people, and just enjoy Labor Day weekend. Get some rest and relaxation in there, and get some gaming done too as well, or read a good comic book to get you through some of your leisure time during the weekend. You all have a great rest of your day, and thanks for stopping in. Take care.